Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to our a little keeping up quarterly here, keeping up a little bit with ourselves and how we're feeling, and just checking in with ourselves and keeping ourselves healthy, doing a little mental health maintenance. So I am Cecily. Welcome. And these are going to be every Thursday this month of June. And we're going to check out how we can connect with ourselves, connect with others, connect with our surroundings in order to keep us healthy. So it's a quick meeting in the sense that it's only 30 minutes. And these recordings will bring in, you could also view them on YouTube if that's where you're checking them out. So the structure is going to be a short PowerPoint. And then after that, um, ask a few questions really to get some thoughts going, and then a short meditation as well, or just to kind of let that sink in a little bit. So without further ado, today we're going to talk about how we can have connection when we have a chaotic time. So chaos can look different for a lot of us. So chaos could be a lot of emails coming in. Chaos could be just daily life. Maybe we have a long commute, there's a lot of traffic. Perhaps there's chaos within the home, within the work environment. So just starting as a basic um, overall concept, we're going to go ahead and talk about how we can find connection um, to keep our anxiety down. Stress is one thing. Being stressed can help us to be productive sometimes, and that's the what it's designed to do. But if it gets to the point where we're out of control and we can't keep it under wraps, then we will. That's when anxiety is hitting. We actually looking ahead to the future, what's going to happen, and kind of staying in that fight or flight mode. So today we're just going to talk about the basic idea of finding connection when everything feels like it's very out of control. So without further ado, I'm going to share a little PowerPoint. Um, a lot of things I feel like as a whole, we may know, but they're always good reminders to see, how we are, that we're not alone. Um, so again, finding calm in the chaos. And my name is Cecily Selmer, and I'm a mind and body technician here at the Yale New Haven Health Systems. Um, and what that means is that I am a licensed massage therapist, a Reiki master, and a meditation coach, and kind of encompassing all of that into general wellness that we're bringing here to you as a Yale New Haven Health employee. So, what it feels like when we're chaotic, things feel like they're out of control, often they can just take us into that fight or flight mode on a daily basis, where we're having to jump from item to item, being texted at the grocery store. Next thing or even starting our day. A chaotic day can look like, getting up, the alarms waking us up, getting in the shower, packing lunches for people if we have kids or even ourselves. Maybe the coffee maker's not working. Life does hit us, sure, but then as soon as now, especially with devices and things like that, it constantly keeps us going. And so I hear very often, and I'm not going to say that it's never happened to me, where I lay down at night and all these things and emails are coming in throughout the day and being pulled in every which way, every direction, that the brain has a tough time slowing down. It affects um, our mind and our body. And I can say that, this little wire over here, a jumble of wires, is not completely unfamiliar. Um, to most people, if I was to say. So here's a question that I think is the most important thing, kind of to set the tone for the entire series that we're going through here. Is what makes you feel overwhelmed? And not just that overwhelmed, but that out of control feeling. It is really a universal experience, shared by many people. They juggle work schedules, family life, constant demands. And then now, even if you're part of social media kind of sets the tone for people to be and act a certain way. And that can also pull on us, makes things feel like maybe we're not doing enough. Maybe it's not right. And all of those things, well, not necessarily, you might not feel that way, but I have heard all of these things as I've gone into different locations throughout the health system. But really, a lot um, makes all of these things make life feel out of control. And what makes you feel like, oh, things are out of control? The constant pulling on you and on your energy and on your demands. And I say energy because that leads me to the next question. How does it feel in your body when it's just too much? Where do you feel it in your body when you are absolutely overwhelmed, exhausted, and really looking ahead to the next crisis, to the next chaotic moment? How are you bracing yourself for that? And where do you feel that in your body? And that's part of, um, you know, what I'd like to get to when we do our meditation is really feeling in our body. And there will be a little homework for next week. So take a moment and just take a breath and where do you feel that in your body? So I can say for me, I'm doing a presentation, so it can feel like it's just too much, it's a little overwhelming. And where I feel it is right here in my neck, in my throat. So I'm going to take a breath and release that. And a breath is so very powerful. It is what we have really to bring ourselves back to center. So that's again the question I'd like to ask you is where are you feeling it? And don't think about it, just go with that first response. Now we've had a moment really to, feel our body. I'm going to just review a little bit of how this busy life fuels this anxiety that many of us have. It's really the perfect conditions, current life, the busy lifestyle that we all lead, perfect conditions to develop anxiety and for persistent anxiety, this multitasking, rapidly switching from thing to thing, cognitive overload, mental fatigue, um, all of those things, bring us to a point where our nervous system is constantly going. So that constant load, the constant thoughts, bringing ourselves multitasking constantly going. If you sleep with your phone near you or any, you know, I have made a change in my life, I can tell you, where I put my phone downstairs and I have an old school alarm clock. And I don't have my phone even in my room at night because no matter what I do, I find that like things like ding, little something, no matter how much I silence it, somehow something comes through, and that little bit can be very disruptive. So at least at night, try to see that's something that you could do to make it less interrupted. So your sleep hopefully is less interrupted. We have technology induced stimulation constantly, emails, text messages, apps, going off over and over and over again. That's no surprise. I don't know anyone that would disagree with that. That it's a constantly being stimulated by technology. And because of that, we're so busy that, by the time we go to stop and rest, we don't have enough downtime to get our to get our bodies to slow down. So our rest is truly disrupted because of it. And I don't think, again, this is going to be any surprise to anyone saying that it affects our mind and body. And I don't bring this up in order to guilt you and say, you need to relax, calm down, stop. No, it's just bringing awareness to this idea that this chronic stress can really overproduce cortisol in the body, adrenaline, like we're constantly being inundated and threatened. Really, the body just sees it that way. So it raises our heart rate, it affects our blood pressure, it can affect our entire immune system, making us more susceptible to illnesses. If we do have injuries, making us less susceptible, less able to recover. Um, and then, being irritable, being emotionally exhausted, not available to our coworkers, to other people, to ourselves, and even difficulty concentrating. So this affects our workday as well as our life. And again, this could, no surprise, that sleep disruption and just when you're not sleeping, you're tired and the cycle continues. You have another cup of coffee in the morning because you didn't sleep well the night before, and it just compounds itself. So what are some things that we can do quickly? What are some things we can do the everyday life that can help us to restore calm even during a busy day? I cannot say this enough to take a breath. It helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which tells us we're safe, you're safe, it's okay. And I think the more that we make this something that is common, the more part of our society, people will stop and start taking breaths because that's what we do now. That's what we see others people do. That's what we do. So even a mindful pause between tasks, you completed one task. I know there's no question that we are capable of jumping to the next task, but stop, walk to the water cooler and back. Stop, walk to the sink, wash your hands, come back. Water is very therapeutic. Stop for a moment. Just take a nice deep breath in. So to quiet your mind, shift your focus, and maybe even think of something to be grateful for. You can have a notebook on the side of your desk, even if you're not physically getting up, although I do recommend it, you know, between a task, write something down. Saw beautiful flowers on my morning walk today. It's not for anybody else, but for you. And I think this goes without saying, but as a wonderful reminder, and if you haven't heard it, please hear it loud and clear that this health benefits are completely backed by research. Your deep breathing, they lower your heart rate. Your blood pressure can be calmed, can brought down by calming the nervous system. Obviously, if you do have a blood pressure issue or a heart problem, it's not going to completely change that. But I don't know if you've ever been to the doctor where you get, your high blood pressure because you're in the doctor's office, right? So if we take a deep breath, that happens to some people, and then relax, bring our bodies down, we're able to come back a little bit more to a centered place. Mindfulness practices, whether it be something that's incredibly structured or not, even just the breathing, but it can really help you 25 to 30%. Short sessions would be considered anything less than 20 minutes. 20 minutes, the numbers really skyrocket and how much, 20 minutes a day. But again, if you can only get in a short 3-minute breathing, by all means, that is worth something. So like nice light physical walks, it helps reduce those stress hormones just by getting up, like I said, walking to the water cooler, coming back. And who doesn't want better sleep? I know I do. Um, I know I can say this, my dog walks much better the more he's walked, or sleeps much better the more he's walked. So if it can work for the pets, it can work for us too. Nice little walks, daily breaths that we take on a day-to-day basis. I know that it's amazingly wonderful. We're so capable of all these wonderful, really hardcore things. We can do so much, but we can also embrace peace. And we can also embrace our health because we really are the ones responsible for our own health in the long run. So the reason I say that this is like that we're responsible too is that, we're all given different genetics, we're all different things, given a different plate. But if we make a choice and make it a lifestyle, in the end, no matter where we start, we can always feel a little bit better. We're going to feel a little bit better. And those are long-lasting improvements on how the mind and the body does respond to stress. And so we don't have to, try to like make this an overachievement and look at what I can do. So I'll tell you from time to time, I do have people where I try to give them stretches at the end of a massage. And there are some that just like to see how far they can stretch, not because they really just want to say, look how much I can stretch. But that's not what we're here to do. We're not, well, that's great. And I don't discourage it necessarily. I also don't, this is not a competition. It's not a way to strive, but more of a lifestyle to bring a lifestyle choice. Um, and it requires commitment. It requires time. These just small moments are incredibly powerful and they're almost contagious. So those around you will feel those meaningful changes, consistent and repeatable actions that they'll see you taking a breath. They're accessible anytime at a stoplight. Take a nice breath while you're at your desk. Do a nice stretch and take a breath. And not only that, you can say that you've done it. You did it. You brought the calm. You brought the calm. So, without further ado, we're going to do a short, just about a 10-minute meditation, mindfulness practice, really. And with this mindfulness practice, we're just going to take few moments and find a little grounding, a little centering here. So they'll come into view though or not. That's my catches me. I don't know, but catches. There's some of my flowers. They're so beautiful. Really unique and beautiful flowers. Oh, there we go. Maybe we'll try that. I'll kind of be on the side there. And so what we can, the first thing that we're going to do is, if you are new to this practice, there is no right or wrong. There is only um, what's working for you. And so I don't want you to be too hard on yourself. If you're a seasoned veteran, by all means, find some comfort and take this time and let's do it. So let's start by sitting up nice and tall into a nice comfortable position, not overly strained or stressed. And as we feel the seat below our bottoms, I want you to feel the support and the strength of the chair below you. I want you to feel the contact that you have with the seat below you. And let's start by taking 3 nice deep breaths in, breathing in, and release. Another nice deep breath in, let it go. And one more nice deep breath in, expanding your lungs and really letting the entire lung, including that lower lung where the diaphragm lies, and letting it push the air out naturally. And just with those three nice deep breaths, again, feeling that in our body, feeling that chair, feeling the support, feeling our sits bones as it's grounded, feeling the back of our legs and our hamstrings, touching the seat below us, feeling that support, feeling the strength. And moving down into our feet, taking this time to pay special attention to our feet and to the bottom of our feet, the heel, the ball of our foot, each toe, starting with our big toe and feeling the ground supporting us, feeling this steady energy coming from the earth. Taking a nice deep breath in here and releasing any overabundance of energy in your body. You can go ahead and pull it down and bring it down into your foot, bring it down into your feet. And imagining it going down into the earth like roots. Imagining these roots making contact with the crust of the earth and with no problem at all, just easily digging down through the layers of rocks and dirt and grabbing hold of the steadiness that the earth has to offer, feeling that strength, taking a deep breath if you feel the need and releasing and letting any stress, anxiety, overwhelm, anything that's really weighing on you, let it go down into those roots and let it seep right into the earth. And in return, allow the earth to return strength. Return the strength up through the roots into the feet, the ankles, feeling it radiate through the lower half of our body. All of this goodness, like the trunk of a tree, with its strength, bringing into the lower half of our body and really feeling those roots grabbing hold. You might even imagine a wind coming and trying to knock you off the center, but those roots that you have are so strong that while you may be a little flexible, you are grounded. You're not going anywhere. You've got this. These roots are helping you to keep things under control and make it available to you to trust in this process. Feeling the bottom of our feet again, really feeling them touching the floor below us. Sitting in this strength for just another few moments. Nothing can knock you down. Nothing now can take you off this center. Feeling this strength in the entirety of your body. I'm going to ask you to take one more nice deep cleansing breath in. Release any residual tension you might have in your body as you breathe out. Wiggle your fingers, your toes. And if you haven't already, go ahead and open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining that few moments of strength, centering, and grounding. At any point along, let's say for the next week here, if you find that things seem overwhelming or chaotic, or you can't really get to them, or things are out of control, I want you to go back and feel that in your feet and just feel your feet and take a breath. This is a very quick practice that we can integrate into our days. And again, it's a lifestyle choice. It's a choice that we make when things seem out of control. And it does take practice. It does take some diligence. It does take an intentional effort to do this. So I'm going to say for the next 7 days, we have another, it's my other flowers too. So for the next few days, we have another series, another one of these connection series next week. So in 1 week. So I'm going to give you a little homework for a daily check-in. So for 7 days, I mean, I suppose we could count this as day one. So 6 more days. Set an alarm on your phone. It's one more alarm, but this is right now we're trying to get ourselves into a habit so we can let technology be a helper for us. So let's set an alarm. I highly recommend it be something that you most likely will not be interrupted. So, like at 9 o'clock at night, if it's a bedtime, like, when you start winding down, even midnight, whatever it is, 6 a.m., whatever that is. But I want you to, whatever, if you're a night shift worker, I should say 6 a.m. So closer to the middle to the end of the day, set an alarm. Um, and then I want you to do a practice where you feel stuck in your body. I don't want you to think about it. I want you just to initially say, where am I stuck? Breathe into it and carry on. You need you. And this self-care does take a little bit of work. So please give it a shot. And we'll see next week how we're feeling and how things go. So with this little practice and hopefully some more flowers, we'll check in next week and see how we feel. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Let's take one more nice deep breath in and let it go. I'm gonna smell my flower. That's a great way to the great way to get a breath in. Take care. Bye, everybody.